This is the Transcend in Life podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson, taking you from fear to freedom.
Welcome back to Transcend in Life podcast. I have a very special guest, someone who's been a mentor, somebody that I've worked with for many years, and just an all-around amazing guy. Mehran Assadi is chairman, CEO, and president of National Life Group. Assadi joined National Life in September 2003 as interim chief information officer. In 2005, he was appointed the company's president of life and annuity. Since becoming president and CEO in 2009, Assadi has led major growth in sales of National Life's annuity and life products and worked to build a culture of collaboration, engagement, and empowerment among employees. He joined National Life's board of directors in 2009 and was elected chairman in 2017. Mehran, that is quite a list of accomplishments. How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here.
It is my pleasure. I'm glad to be with you, and thanks for asking.
Well, I just have appreciated what you've been to me and my family for so many years, but you have influenced so many people along the way, and you continue to do so in your role at National Life. Tell me, how did you get to becoming a CEO of a major player in the insurance industry? I'd love to hear that story because I know it, but I think the listeners would glean a lot out of it.
Well, I would say that it started with me identifying my why in terms of why I do what I do in my professional life and how I can create alignment between my personal and professional life as far as values are concerned. Wanting to be part of something that is bigger than just me, wanting to be part of a movement, and being part of an endeavor which is mission driven and purposeful. So started in business as a software developer, and very quickly realized that I need to understand, have a better understanding of business purpose and needs that any software delivers, and have a better understanding of how it's going to be put to practical use. And that is the way I found myself into insurance and financial services space, and fell in love with the business, fell in love with the purpose that we serve. There are many honorable professions in our country, and I would say ours is one of the most honorable professions, because at the end of the day, we take care of Middle America, the most underserved segment of the market, and it is a target-rich environment in terms of opportunities to be part of the solution and serve others.
So you said the word purpose-driven and you said serve, and that is just so ingrained in you as a human being, in the culture of your company, and also in the book that you wrote, Cause. I don't know where to even go, whether to talk about do good, be good, make good, or cause. I want to talk on both because it's so unique, especially I think in the insurance industry, in the financial service industry. You're talking about emotions and you're talking about helping people from that standpoint, before you're talking about the bottom line. And I appreciate that. I think so many other companies could follow suit. So where did that come from? Is that just something that's innate? Did you learn it along the way? How did you develop that?
Well, I can assure you it was not by reading some book or attending some seminar. I had a front seat to watch my father and my mother to lead from front, and finding joy and finding satisfaction in being part of the solution and serving others. And to that end, I believe finding your why and figuring out what you want to be part of in terms of purposeful and mission-driven cause is like a jet fuel. It elevates your ability to contribute and achieve significant outcomes. It just goes to a different level. And it is my personal experience that a lot of people struggle with finding their why. And I would also add, JM, that people find that and figure it out during different periods in their lives. So if you have figured out your why, congratulations to you. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's totally fine, because every one of us is going to figure it out at our own pace.
Well, and you did it in an industry that I wouldn't say is exactly adept at saying, yes, let's talk about our why. The why typically has been the bottom line or top line revenue, but you did it so seamlessly and successfully, at least in my eyes, with National Life Group. I have to imagine at some point the board of directors, there was a bit of resistance, or maybe not. Maybe it was so forward thinking, and maybe that's why National Life is where they're at today. But when you became so purpose-driven, when you brought out do good, be good, make good, did you encounter resistance, or was everybody just right on board with you?
That's actually a very interesting question. And I would tell you that there were some people who embraced it, because in order to build a successful business, you got to create a culture that people want to be part of. You got to create a culture that people are attracted to. And I would say many millennials are thirsty for cultures which is mission-driven and purposeful, professions that is bigger than just them. They want to contribute to communities that they are part of. So to that end, I would say for some people it was immediate embracement of being do-gooder, as I like to call it. For some folks, it was like, gosh, that's not business. That's social rights, for lack of better term. And for some folks, it was like, well, that's sort of nice. But let's see whether or not it's gonna have any positive outcome. So what I'm trying to say, JM, there were some early adopters. There were people who were sort of middle of the road about it. And for some people, it sounded like yada, 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 yada. And what we did, we basically stayed committed to what we were trying to create as an organization in an industry that is old. It's an industry that doesn't change, right? Our headset was that we needed to create a movement, something that people want to be part of. And to that end, I think, in all honesty, it took our board few years to hear it, digest it, see it on the balance sheet. Look, culture shows up at the top line and bottom line. Anybody who tells you, how do I measure it? They have not been thinking about it hard enough, right? You're talking about an insurance company which is ranked in 2019 as number 9. And when we started in this journey, we were 40 something, right? So there you go. That's your measurement. You're talking about an insurance company which has literally doubled its size over the past 9 years. So it shows up on the balance sheet, has created success.
You know, it is truly remarkable to double its size in less than a decade. And you mentioned the word old. This company is not like a spring chicken. This company has been around for quite a number of years. And to see that type of growth, to see that just exponential growth, yet still not lose the core values of who the company was. And when it actually, you guys embrace the history as much as any insurance company I've ever gone to. Upon visiting, you talk about the history of the company, and it's very important to you. Can you talk about how you kind of melded those two together? Because again, do good, be good, make good is on every marketing piece. But we are talking about an insurance company that's been around for, I won't quote, I'll let you do that, but it's been around a long time. Melding those two together, that's truly unique.
Well, you're correct. We are 172 years old. And as a matter of fact, about 12 weeks ago, I launched a task force, which is called Task Force 175. It is creating our strategic plan. So in 2023, we can celebrate our 175th anniversary as an organization. So how do you do that, right? We are one of 3 oldest mutuals in the country, right? And today, I would describe National Life as a progressive mutual. We celebrate our history, we celebrate our proud past, and we look forward to a bright future, which is mission-driven and purposeful. And by the way, just so you know, this whole concept of being purposeful and mission-driven has been part of DNA of National Life for a long time. What we have done, we have put that front and center versus thinking ourselves just like any other financial services company, right? To me, there is an opportunity to remind ourselves why we do what we do, right? And to that end, as a mutual organization, we fight our independence just like any other company, private or public, because independence is not a right. It's something that you work for. And to that end, in order to be around for another 100 years, we deliberately decided to change, embrace change, and revisit our priorities as far as 21st century is concerned.
So you mentioned the word a progressive mutual. For those listeners out there that don't know insurance, because there's going to be many of them, what does that mean and why is that important? Because again, you guys are unique. You have done some really innovative things in the market that truly, and I want laymen on this to understand exactly what those are, because some of your living benefits just unbelievable. But what is progressive mutual? What does that even mean? If I don't know what the heck an insurance company is, what does that mean?
Well, a progressive mutual is an organization and a culture that is willing to meet people, its clients, where they are, versus creating complexity around what insurance is and why insurance makes sense. Progressive Mutual is insurance company, is a company that talks about retirement and talks about life insurance that is not about dying, it is about living. When we are talking to our millennial and Gen Z clients, right, we talk to them about living benefits. We talk about insurance that's not about dying. And that resonates with segment of the population, which is about immediate gratification. This is a generation which is not necessarily patient, right? It's like, why would I do this, right? And when you're thinking about living benefits, it is about enhancing your life versus here's a death benefit. Foundation of any life insurance clearly is the mortality and death benefit. However, at National Life, through innovation, we have created a platform which covers it all. It covers the death benefit, it covers the living benefits, and also it actually thinks about the fact that people are living longer. And to that end, can we think about lifetime income, for example, through our annuity products and through life insurance?
Yeah, it's interesting. You've talked about the younger generation, and insurance isn't necessarily a sexy thing. It's not like, yes, I want insurance, but truly you guys have made it to where it's kind of hip to have National Life Group products because it is about living. It's not about dying. And you have some of the most remarkable testimonials of human beings that you have truly helped. And I'm not saying you could provide those today, but you have to have perhaps a couple stories you could share that this is what our life, our living benefits were all about. And here's why it's so important to us. Can you share maybe one or two of those that you have?
Absolutely. And you're correct. There are many because living benefits actually do work. I can tell you that one of the producers who's been working with the company for a while, many of our producers, if not all, own National Life products because you got to believe in what you are offering other people. One of the most powerful ways of convincing someone to lean in and participate in protecting their family, whether it's annuity products or life insurance, is to basically tell them what is it that you personally have. So this person had purchased $1 million policy, and at the beginning was like, my gosh, I got to make these premium payments, and I hope I can keep up with it. That feeling you have when you're making a commitment that it's going to be a long-term commitment. Fast forward less than 2 years, the man is diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, right? And by the way, a person who is middle-aged, right? And he basically calls our claims department and says, I've been diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer, and I'm filing a claim. I'm going into treatment, and I'm not going to be able to support my family, and I need to make sure financially they're in a good place. And they went through the normal conversation in terms of specifics and doctor information and prognosis and again, proper procedures. And within a matter of days, this individual who happened to represent National Life as an agent and a client of the company gets a check in the mail. And one Saturday morning, JM, I'm sitting in the kitchen having a cup of coffee and catching up with some emails. I get an email from this person, and I remember the exact date and day. And he said, you and I have met at one of the conferences. And by the way, to help you, here's my picture with my wife. And I knew exactly who the person was. I just want to let you know what is going on with me. So he goes through describing the whole situation I just described. And I also want to let you know that I got a check in the mail within a matter of days. So my family has been taken care of. And now that I'm a recipient of a benefit of what I offer, I'm going to take part of this money and actually open up 2 additional offices in order to support the communities that I'm part of by offering this product to additional agencies, because now my life has been impacted by the good that National Life does. So as I'm going through my treatment, I want to make sure that my wife and some of our colleagues are continuing to spread the good, because I feel like now I'm evangelist for what our industry is all about.
Well, it truly is amazing what that provides this human being. And then he's going to go ahead and give it back. He's going to continue to push that forward. And I think I love hearing that. So you mentioned Middle America is who we service. And I always say Middle America is grossly underinsured. It's one of the fights that for my 17 years in the financial industry, it's something that we've been trying to do. How can we continue to support that? I know, again, National Life Group is doing such a great job of making the marketing even more hip, if you will, making it more attractive to have these policies. But what are some other things that we could be doing? Because nothing is worse than meeting somebody or a family that was regretful that they didn't get life insurance. And it's one of the things you and I both have for many years have been trying to accomplish. But what else do you think we could be doing, Mehran?
Well, there are a number of things we can do. First of all, we need to continue to recruit people to our industry. We need to recruit diverse group of people. Middle America is a melting pot. So from my point of view, if your advisors, agents, team or teams don't look like the markets they represent, then you're not marketing they're not being in contact, or they're not connected to the communities that they're part of. So diversity and inclusion in terms of recruits to our organizations are absolutely paramount. As a matter of fact, one of the badges of honor we have at National Life a few years ago, we wanted to grow our customer base within female communities that we operate in. And I'm happy to report to you that over 50% of our life insurance policy owners are women, and also within the annuity market, approaching 60%. So in our country, over 50% of the population happen to be female. So our book of business represents America. So to me, we recruit from Middle America to serve Middle America. We give opportunity to people from Middle America to be their own, to be entrepreneurs and own their own businesses, work based on their own terms. Another thing we got to do is continue to simplify products so people understand what it is that they're purchasing. As representatives of National Life, we need to think of ourselves as life coaches. And I know when I use the phrase life coach, you are probably wondering, geez, are we talking about Dr. Phil or Oprah Winfrey, or what are we talking about here? Look, a lot of people have a poor relationship with money. We live in a country that people assume they cannot afford life insurance, yet they pay hundreds of dollars for their cell phone, for their data usage, for cable TV. Just think about people who spend $10, $15 a day on Starbucks coffee, which, by the way, I'm not opposed to coffee, love coffee, and addicted to Starbucks coffee. However, how can you be spending $10 a day on coffee, not purchase life insurance, which also I refer to it as love insurance, JM, because when you purchase life insurance, it is one of the most selfless acts one commits, because it's all about protecting someone you care about versus what is in it for you. So that's the foundation, and that's the start. And obviously, we take care of teachers of America, and 4 out of 5 teachers don't retire with dignity that they deserve. So one of the markets that we are in, that we are very proud of because of who we serve, is the whole teachers market, K-12, or as sometimes we refer to it as K-14, junior colleges. We provide an opportunity for teachers to supplement their retirement opportunities. And of course, 403B annuity is a space that we are very successful in as a company. We are the number one provider of index annuities, employer sponsored within K-12. We are proud of that. And the way I would think about combination of annuities and life insurance, I view life insurance as a bubble wrap around your pension and retirement plan, because God forbid something happens to you, you get sick, that retirement bucket is at risk.
Well, being that I'm a son of my mom was a teacher for 39 years, and you know my history that we serve that market as well. What National Life Group does for that community is truly amazing, and you have some pretty cool things that you do outside of just providing that. Can you talk about? You have this unique award called Life Changer of the Year. What is that all about? I know what it is, but I want our audience to know what this, because I think it's super, it's unique, it's cool, it shows the appreciation and love that these teachers really deserve.
Well, Life Changer of the Year is about celebrating educators of America. It is demonstrating gratitude and appreciation, JM, for an underappreciated segment of our community and the marketplace. It includes teachers, administrators, principals, assistant principals, custodians, bus drivers. So it really is there to acknowledge people who are impacting lives of our children in positive ways. We started that almost a decade ago, and it's been one of the most successful programs that we have ran. It's something that we continually want to do more of, in fact. And we are quite excited about sponsoring this program and continuing to invest more. It means so much to the teachers, to the kids. It's been a tremendous success story for us at National Life Group.
You know, as I sit here and I listen, and you're such a humble guy. You serve, you have so many things going on, and you have these festivals that you do for your employees. You have all these initiatives with being diverse. And one of the things you've taught me and talked about is really surround yourself with good middle management, as you've coined it many times. How do you find those quality human beings? Because if I'm listening to this podcast and I'm like, I want my company to do so many amazing things like Mehran is doing with National Life Group, how are you able to find that talent pool and not only that, retain it? Because again, it's a pretty competitive environment out there, and you continuously have people that stay with you 20, 30, years, and even have traveled with you from other companies. What's the secret there?
Well, the secret is identifying people who want to be part of something that is bigger than them. Same thing I said at the beginning of this conversation. A lot of people want to be part of a purposeful and mission-driven cause. Culture fit, JM, is absolutely paramount. You may come across people who are extremely bright, extremely talented. However, they may not have that cultural alignment. By the way, I'm not suggesting that you got to hire people who are exactly like you. As a matter of fact, one of the things I take pride in is the fact that I have recruited and retained people who are a hell of a lot smarter than me, right? As a lifetime learner, I would like to surround myself with people who are smarter than me. One thing we have in common is knowing our why and being grounded. Humility, to me, is admirable for any leadership organization, because at the end of the day, what you did yesterday is so yesterday. The question is, are you in pursuit of getting better every single day and taking your game to the next level, because that is the way you can be part of the solution. The business that we are in is a contact sport. And to that end, intellectual wrestling, being open to change and new ideas is something that you have to have alignment with your teammates on. And, it's not going to always work. It is something that you got to think about deeply. Are you willing to part ways with people who don't have cultural alignment with you and similar priorities? I hope that makes sense.
Oh, brother, it makes so much sense. I've worked with C-level execs for the last 15 years and met many CEOs. I cannot think of one more grounded and more humble than you. I mean, I have these silly pictures of you and I with your head on my chest. It's so, you are just one of the most likable human beings, and you've never changed even through all this growth. So I absolutely love it. You mentioned being a lifetime learner, and I just have to ask, this is more almost a personal question. I know you love to read. You wrote a book. If you could think of 1 to 3 of the most impactful books you've ever read that's helped you along your journey and your path to your success, can you think of a couple that you can share with the audience?
Well, here's the way I would answer that question, Jim. By the way, Cause was written by Jackie Freiberg and Kevin Freiberg. So it was written about national life, just to be clear in terms of who wrote Cause. And by the way, that's the beauty of the book, which has been written about National Life Group and our approach to the marketplace, because it is a third party. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to answer this question actually a little bit differently, and if you allow me, I'm a humongous fan of history. You learn so much from history in terms of what has worked and what has failed. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I fully believe in is those who ignore history are doomed to repeat the mistakes which were made. So to that end, when you think about, where do you learn or what do you read? I would say I would put more emphasis on history and watching what leaders in the past have done. I mean, think about the founding fathers of this country, the principles that they put in place. And by the way, by no stretch of imagination am I suggesting that they were perfect. However, how do you create something that survives for centuries and creates opportunities? So there is an opportunity, to learn from history, which is absolutely valuable. As far as something recent, which again is tied to history, is a book called King of Wall Street, which was written by CEO of BlackRock, which really talks about 2008, 2009, and what happened within the financial services industry. Because once again, it's a great opportunity to learn from something that all of us can learn from. Greed is what created challenges of 2008, 2009.
Yeah, and you were obviously right in the middle of it with insurance companies being such a huge part of getting this country out of that dark time, and you did such a remarkable job there. This is my favorite question to ask, brother, and I cannot wait to hear the answer, because you provide so much of this, in my opinion, to your employees, to the insureds of your company. What does freedom mean what does it mean to Mehran Assadi? What does freedom mean to you, brother?
Freedom to me means having the privilege to live in a place that you can dream it and work hard for it and accomplish it and get it done. You have heard me talk about the fact that if your dreams are not scaring the hell out of you. They're not big enough. As somebody who is a dreamer, I would tell you, freedom to think about opportunities and really have the platform and a privilege of going after it is something that, to me, that's extremely, extremely unique. And I'm grateful for that.
I could cover so many subjects, but I want to give you the opportunity. What should I ask you that I didn't know enough to ask?
Wow. We have covered quite a bit. I would say a question you could have asked me could have been, how do you keep yourself centered?
How do you keep yourself centered, Mehran?
Family. At the end of the day, your parents, your spouse, your children don't give a hoot what are few letters after your name. Whether you're a physician, whether you're a CEO of a company, whether you're head of a marketing organization like you, whether you're a master plumber, I can go through the list. At the end of the day, what really keeps you centered is your family and obligations you have when you are with your family. A lot of people want to know where you get your peace and what gives you that energy to go after it every single day. And to me, it is love of your family, because that's what's all about.
Well, I've had the unique pleasure of getting to know your family and two of your three boys. One I have not had a chance yet, but they are amazing, amazing human beings. You and your wife did such a great job with them. So, brother, if people wanted to connect with you online or National Life, where could they find you?
Well, I am at mssaddy@nationallife.com.
Perfect. I cannot thank you enough for what you do for the community, what you do for the nation in general. The way you lead is truly something to aspire to. And I just appreciate your friendship, man. You've always been just so open, so kind, and really just somebody that has taught me so much. And I cannot thank you enough for taking the time this morning to do that with all of our listeners and continually doing that with me throughout my career.
James, I appreciate the opportunity to catch up and have this conversation. I'm grateful for our friendship. I appreciate what you do. I've had a privilege of having front seat to work with you for a number of years and see you evolve as a leader. So congratulations on that to you, and really look forward to a bright future. I know we are going through a pandemic in our country, and a fair amount of rightfully soul searching. I believe in what we do, and we can be part of the solution as we move forward. So thank you for that.
Well, undoubtedly, you are doing that, Mehran. I appreciate you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation today. In the meantime, and until next time, continue to transcend in life. Have a great week. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to transcendinlifepodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Transcend in Life podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson, taking you from fear to freedom.